This is Recruitment Agency Ignition with Andy Whitehead. Helping you build your recruitment employment business fast. Using digital and automation and one-to-many systems, tools, and inbound strategies.
So on this week's Inner Circle call, we're going to do two things. Number one, we're going to go through the business plan and make sure we're actually implementing. Number two, we're going to go through your 30-day plan. So this is what we're going to be doing today and why. You should better see my iPad, guys. Let me know when you can see my iPad. Key thing we want this year is not just good months. We want a change of business, a growth in business. So the reason why we're checking on the business plan today is the following. So when we had a hot seat last week with Darren said it came together, it all just came together, and he 6x'd the revenue inside 6 months. Great. But it all came together. It wasn't one campaign. It started to come together. There were certain elements in place. We've got a hot seat next week with another member who's doing some really cool things. And again, it's coming together. And there's 3 elements that are happening here that we really need to get on top of. The week after that, we've got another hot seat. We're catching up with these hot seats now for you guys, aren't we? We've got another hot seat. And this is with a newer business. And again, it isn't one thing that gets that traction. Then indeed after that, we got yet another hot seat with Ben. Lots of you want to hear from Ben Palmer. So we've got Ben coming on a hot seat. But when we've got these businesses that are doubling, 3xing, 4xing, 5xing quickly, so I mean under 12 months, quickly, or they're breaking through their first 7-figure year, or indeed they're going through startup, but they're not working in an office, they're not going back to the old dark days of thinking as a business owner, there are 3 things that happen. So when we create a 30-day plan, it isn't just to get excited about the next 30 days and put a plan in place that is not integrated to the rest of the strategies. Conversely, when we created the business plan before Christmas and we looked at your roles in the business, that isn't there to sit as a woo-woo document or a woo-woo exercise that we then just leave as a standalone product. The business plan we created before Christmas had many key components to it. We're going to touch on some right now. But what I want you to get is this. When we had the hot seat last week with Darren, when we had the hot seat next week with Jamie, when we had the hot seat with Ben, these guys are not just focusing on minute campaigns. Conversely, they're not also being perfectionists and thinking about the big strategy and thinking in sky level. They're combining certain elements. So these are the 3 elements I want you to get a grip on every single month. Every single month. So when we create a 30-day sprint, yes, we need to get that traction. In my own business, we just had one of the hardest months I've ever had, I think, in business. We're testing a new integrated strategy for you. And it's a pain in the butt. But there are metrics and milestones each week, each day. So what I want you to get a grip on now, when we go month to month in 2018, I want to make sure that you're really having that as part of an integrated approach to your business. So the end of 90 days, at the end of a year, you actually have got a different business. You've hit whatever your figure's going to be. Your hours are whatever you want them to be. Your business is what you want it to be. So I want to be thinking about the strategy, but also each 30 days. So if you think about this, when we talk about a 30-day plan, there are 3 key components. 3 key components when we do this. The first is, clearly, bring it down to 30 days. The next key component is getting focus on that sprint. It could be implementing a project. It could be implementing nurturing. It could be implementing a set of campaigns. But we get focus. Rather than spin dozens of plates, we get focus for that 30 days. But also, to ensure we get to the end of the year or the end of the 6 months, it needs to be part of our bigger strategy. It needs to be part of what we've detailed before Christmas. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is because we go from a planning phase, we do either with a game plan or the end of the last year, and we think big picture, and we get a sense of accomplishment because there's no urgency and it's next year's the year. If we don't have this 30-day plan in place, what you're going to get, guarantee it, month to month, is you're going to drift. You're going to drift. If you don't get that focus, what you're not going to have each month is metrics you can kick yourself with or indeed celebrate with. But also, if we don't have it as part of a bigger strategy, even if you have month-on-month improvement, what you're going to have is no real scale because it's not part of the bigger strategy. You may be doing really, really cool things, really cool figures, but it needs to be integrated in part of the bigger strategy. So with these 30 days, each 30 days, we want to make sure we do the following. We want a milestone those 30 days. So this month, we're going to do X. Okay, what needs to happen? So I know if I send X amount of leads, this is my conversion point for these campaigns. So if I put 2,000 leads through, I'm going to get 50 client appointments or whatever your metric is. But we need milestones weekly and daily, not just drifting through the month. The next thing, we must have metrics we're working towards. We must, either comparable to what we've done before or in comparison to what others are doing in the group to start with. But without these metrics, you really can't assess whether you're winning or losing. And again, the metrics don't just sit at the end of the month. It's weekly, daily. And when it's part of the bigger strategy, and we integrate into that bigger strategy, what you really are going to get is growth, but you becoming a true business owner. No matter if you're doing millions now, like Jamie's on next week's hot seat. He's going to share some really cool things, be very transparent about what's good, what's not good, etc. But even for someone like Jamie, who's doing millions in his business, or whether you're a startup business, it's that change to business owner. That change to business owner. So in these 30-day plans, we must always link it back to our bigger strategy. Does this fit with what we've laid out? We know that your role in the business needs to change. We know there are certain fundamentals that your business must function by. For you to become a 7-figure plus business, you cannot be doing certain things that you're doing right now. If you want to move from 80 hours a week to 40 hours a week, whatever your outcome is, it could be both of those. It must always detail back to the original strategy. So we must keep checking in. So what we're not going to do is go through the entire business plan. But what we are going to do is I want you to look at some key elements here. And each 30 days, we need to assess, are we sticking to what we know has to happen? So if we go back to our plan, one of the key areas we're focusing on is where you're actually operating from. So just today, we've put an exercise in place in my business, so with our members across all the teams, and essentially is understanding what do they really want, what they're passionate about, what are their skills, what's their genius, what they really hate. Because bit by bit, someone who's detailing with lead generation starts to detail and they start to take up additional roles and they're doing a bit of design. And before you know it, your team's changed. It may just be you in the business now, or there could be 10 people in the team. But we must keep on top of what is your genius? Where is your time going each month? If you don't, I guarantee you, your time's 1 hour a day, 2 hours a month, 10 hours a month. Bit by bit, after 90 days, your role has become, it's just gone huge. You've got so much crap on your plate, and then you're not working strategically, which ultimately, it might seem like a small change now. I know I've got to pick up the slack, but when we fast forward and extrapolate across 12 months, your business is going to suffer. Your business is going to suffer. So what I want you to do is this. If you didn't go through this exercise of creating your business plan, please go back to that session and complete it. Please go back to that session and complete it. Number one. Number two, each month, when we have a 30-day check-in, what's the plan for the next 30 days? Compare it to what we've created in the plan. What does your business need to look like? What does your role need to look like? It's too easy to get lost in overwhelming the business and day to day, week to week. But before we know it, we've removed all our structure and we've lost 90 days and not a lot's changed. But we know there's going to be a lag time. We know that getting this set up in the way, so you've got a 7-figure or multiple 7-figure business, it needs to operate in a certain way. So you must check in each 30 days. You must check in each 30 days against your original plan. Because I guarantee you, just 1% a day, 100 days, your business is completely gone. So we must check in. So the first filter I want to check in is your role, your time. Where's your time been, number one? The second filter, activities in the business. Activities in the business. So something that we, again, just today, and we're going to go through it in our own team next week, is having a check-in. So the roles, who's doing what? Does this fit into their actual vision, into their strengths? But then number two, what's the actual business look like? So it might just be you now, but within that, you're probably doing 10, 20, 30 activities. If you've got a VA, what are their activities? Check in and have a reset every month. Just a very quick check-in. What is my team doing? What are we doing? As we detailed before Christmas, ultimately, your whole business and the success this year and the degree of success you want will come back to your team. Whether it be running, well, Andy, I want automation, Andy, I need leads, Andy, I need whatever it might be. Everything originates from the team you have in place, and that stems from how you run that team. So each month, it is critical you have this check-in. What we don't want to do this year is go through a 30-day plan, a 30-day cycle, and focus on purely the campaigns for this month. And then we remove ourselves from the bigger picture because we're going to lose 90 days. And someone else is going to be making huge progress, and you'll see them inside the Facebook group, and you're going to be scratching your head. And it will come back to this. So yes, we need that hunger and that traction, and we do that with campaigns. Yes, we need to get the systems in place and the automation so we can scale. We do that with the projects and the different strategies, yes. But also taking a step back. Your outcome isn't just to be inside the inner circle, then within 3 months do X. You've actually got an outcome to do something probably in 2 to 3 years. Like Darren said last week, when he first joined us, he wanted to work 2 days a week. Then his wife said, you're not doing that. But now his outcome is, I want a lifestyle business, but I'm still working 6 days a week, so I'm a workaholic. But we've 6x'd the business. Now I'm thinking, can I sell it? So don't lose track of the bigger strategy here. Don't lose track of the bigger strategy, because I guarantee you, at the end of the year, when we look at when we get in London and we see those who've been doing excellent and they've reached a certain point, and you might be seeing someone getting a gold disc, they've done the first 7-figure year or whatever it might be. Those people, those are the guys who are combining these three. Guarantee it to a lesser or greater extent. They are taking the 30-day cycle seriously. They're not giving themselves I'm going to do this in 90 days and be too easy on themselves. They are going to be tight on themselves in the next 30 days. They know it won't be perfect, but they are going to judge themselves. They are going to have metrics around what they should be hitting. Even if their metrics just to get leads out the door to start with. And then they're always going to be looking at the bigger picture, the strategy. Where is this business going? What is my outcome for this business? What is my outcome for this business? So it might be you just want to get into a systemized cash flow rich business now. Great. It might be you want to get the business fully retained. Great. It might be you are thinking about selling it. It might be you want a lifestyle business. Don't lose track of that actual strategy and the true outcome that you want, because we must put these pillars in as we go through. Each one of these pillars. And those pillars are going to drive the actual strategy and infrastructure of your business. So guys, I just want to really just get you to reset and make sure that what you've detailed in your plan, what you want your business to look like, you must judge yourself each 30 days on that. So first off, any questions, any insights? In fact, what are your questions or insights based on what we've just shared here? Let me check the chat box. Yeah, Lee, listen to Making Money is Killing Your Business. Great shout, loving it. Yeah, Lee, one of the best books I read last year. Making Money is Killing Your Business. Hashtag Ben Palmer's Mansion, yeah. Insight, I have to fully understand something before I hand it over. Is a gold disc? No. I'll come back to that. Yeah. So it's taking that short-term view, and that's what's going to get you the traction now, but realizing this is part of the bigger picture, the bigger strategy. So with that said, guys, I just wanted to make sure that number one, we've completed this. Then number two, you're checking in with yourself and your team each month. And then number three, actually building your team. We're now 30 days in. We're 30 days into the year. If you haven't already, you will have a VA soon, but I think pretty much all of you have got it. But do now start thinking about, right, what are the actual roles in the business that need to function without me? What do I need to start thinking about in the next 30 days? What do I need to bring on board? And again, the reason why we're doing this, it's not sexy, it's not a brand new strategy. However, the irony is, virtually everyone I know in business who's doing things that I can only dream of, it's about doing the simple things repeatedly. It's not about new shiny objects. It's about doing the simple things repeatedly on a daily basis. And we can't lose that. Sometimes we get into the next new thing, next shiny object, and it's not about that. Yes, we need to be innovative. Yes, we need to be ahead of the curve. That's my job. But what we must do as business owners is do the crap stuff every day, or our team does the crap stuff every day systematically. And your job is the business owner. With that, I guarantee you, as much as I can, if you implement, and it comes down to what you implement, you will get the growth that you want. But remember, ultimately, what we've gone through in the business plan will come back to how you run the business and the team in your business. Yes, the team implement the campaigns. Yes, the team implement automation. But it's your role that's going to be the game changer. Your role is going to be the game changer, 1,000%. 1,000%. So I just wanted to do that because I'm aware, just from some of the conversations, we're often looking for the next new thing, and that's great. But remember what we're doing here. We're building a business, and don't lose sight of that. So I just want to make sure we have a quick reset. So what I'm going to do is two things. Number one, I'm going to check the chat box. So indeed, if you've got a mic, you want to come on, absolutely cool. Just want to make sure you guys get that. Keep it simple. Implement what we've been through before. Next, we've got an awful amount of material to review. And last week, we did, I think, 4 or 5 hours in the afternoon. Then I did another video in the evening. So we've got some catch up to do. So we're going to get into your questions, anything around the needs reviewing, anything around your next 30 days, around campaigns. We're going to cover it all now.
Discover how to build your recruitment employment agency using one-to-many automation and inbound strategies before anyone else in your market specialization. Check out recruitmentmarketinginternational.com.